Hey friends, happy Monday. It is me, Mandy, and I'm here to have a little chat with you about what's coming, the vibe this week, the little pushes that Spirit is giving everybody on this planet. I think definitely the collective that I can feel, and also a little word of encouragement or a little guidance for those of you that have been challenged or struggling or feeling unclear or feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed. So before I get started, I want to remind you that it's up to you whether what I say resonates with you or not. We all have our own connection. We all have our own gut instinct. We all have our own knowing of what's right for us. And I invite you to tap into that anytime you're listening to especially people who are working with spirit. Because we all have our own connection. So trust that it's there for you, and it is being so amplified, which brings me right into what Spirit was talking to me about today. There has been an incredible shift in the ability people have to be able to tap in to their gut, to their instincts, and to bypass that logical mind that keeps popping up in the way anytime your heart calls you towards something, but then your brain kicks in, and the conditioning that you've had in your whole life, whether it's from childhood or even right now, kicks in and tells you what you should be doing, or tells you that's not going to work, or pulls on past experiences and reminds you of hurt that has happened because you have tried before. And we're in a space, friends, where there is so much opportunity and so much support for us to begin leaning into not the future, not manifesting. That is an important part of it, but really leaning into the actual moment. So I know a lot of people like to skip ahead into manifesting, planning. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create a jar, I'm going to write down the notes, I'm going to do all the practices to manifest all the things. But oftentimes that's just an avoidance of healing what has happened in the past, and a bypassing of this moment so we can push into the future of what we want. But what happens is we're not actually here. We don't stay in this moment. When we're not in this moment, we can't create what we want because we're either in the past, fearing it, avoiding it, or jumping into the future and hoping that that's going to come forward for us. So the invitation right now, today specifically, and I feel like this is going to happen for the next few weeks, if not the rest of the year, is to continue pulling yourself back into the moment. Because right now, you're not in the hurt of what happened in the past. Right now, you don't have to look at your bank account and worry about how much money's in there and what you're going to do. That's a future thing. Ultimately, any decision that we're making for the future or any worry that we're carrying does not exist in this moment. And if you can wrap your head around that truth, you're going to be able to give yourself a little bit of a break, and you'll be able to create that gap that I often talk about, which is where our spirit, our soul, our higher self meets us, so that we can feel calm, so that we can relax, so that we can feel ease. So our physical body can release some of this pent-up energy that we have from past traumas or future fears. I really found it interesting too that Spirit's been talking to me for a while about a way to help people create easy, like 1 to 5 minute practices on how to bookend their days in a way that they feel like they have a little more control over their emotional body, that they can begin kind of shifting into this healing space where they'll be able to receive what they need when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to deciding what next step to take, when it comes to clarity, when it comes to trust, when it comes to feeling loved, when it comes to feeling grounded. Sorry, I think I have a child awake over there. And it's time. It's time, friends. And I can feel some fear rising, even in myself, as I'm talking about this, because the belief that we are worthy and strong enough to create this kind of feeling inside of ourselves without any external validation immediately and without any help is terrifying. The empowered, strong, grounded, interdependent human, because we still need each other, guys. We're never going to come to a place where we don't need people. We're here to work together. Humans are designed to work together in compassion and love and growth and understanding, fairness, truth, etc. All the things that resonate with our inner being. But we are here to be in our own core, and we are here to receive information and guidance in a way that is true to us, which means it might not be true to others. So I'd love to know if people have been having wild dreams for the past week. Just comment below if this has been you too, because I have been feeling this kind of internal dream time purging of past situations all smushed together in a dream, little tiny niggling fears that I didn't even realize were there, and they're not huge. And I'm pretty good at, I do bookend my days by waking up in gratitude and setting some intentions, and I do end my days by having a look at what triggered me, what little tiny, those little cuts where you're just like when somebody cuts you off when you're driving. I do look at those at the end of the day and I ask them to be released, because I don't need to carry them into the next day. So I'm getting very practiced at making sure that everything's being released daily, so that I'm not starting the day with this huge amount of baggage. And that includes any thoughts that I have about past crap that I don't want to deal with, or past hurts or past angers. That all kind of comes into that end of day practice as well. But I have been finding in my dream time that they've really been, the little niggling things have been coming up and being released through my dream time. I'm just going to turn this on so I can see if there's any comments. So that being said, hang on. Oh, I'm glad that makes sense, Terry. That being said, I do want to lead or offer a kind of daily, tiny little 1 to 5 minute things that you can do every day to begin creating your own practices, because now is the time. And if you are ready and you feel capable of, understanding that everything that we want and all the things that we crave externally is actually inside of us, which that too is scary to think about, because we've lived so much of our lives basing our existence on external validation, how much we earn, how good our grades are, what our parents think of us, what our friends think of us, what people look like in magazines or movies versus what we see in the mirror. There's so many practices that we've just internalized that have had to do with external validation, that turning around that bus to come back into ourselves takes this kind of practice. And Spirit has already offered me almost 30 days of little tiny things that we can do to bring ourselves into a space of kind of grabbing those reins again, because it will come to you easier than you think. It feels like it is a huge feat to do something like that, but it is so natural to our being, and it's so much who we are that it's going to be easier than you think. So on Instagram, starting June 1st, I am going to start doing a daily post that are tiny little spiritual practices. They're going to help you release and ground. They're going to help you create a practice in your mind that will kind of repattern some of the thought patterning that happens, specifically if you find yourself a worrier or a planner. You want to know 10 to 20 to 5 years to 50 years in advance how things are going to go and plan it down to the T. It will also amplify a heart opening so that you feel that, think of children. Think of how children just walk around with a giant open heart and are so curious about everything. It will help with that too. And then eventually, I feel they showed me kind of towards the end of the 30 days, there will be this kind of clearing that will happen that will allow you to have clarity of thought and have more trust in your own knowing of what is right for you and what you need to do. Because I will share, friends, most people who come to me for a reading are looking for exactly these things. Exactly these things. And there's no difference truly between me and you, other than I have implemented some of these practices into my life so that my trust goes up, so that my presence stays more in the now, so that I can handle adversity in a way that I don't begin internalizing it as my fault or being punished or having done something wrong or somebody did something wrong to me. It has brought me back into my own lane, and it helps me keep my heart open, and I want to help you with this too. So that will be over on Instagram. I'll post my handle below. And I'm going to do a weekly YouTube live explaining what the week is about as well, because it does feel like it's going to unfold very gently into an opportunity for you to kind of feel a little bit accountable to doing something daily without having to think about it, because I will give it to you. So I'd love to see you over there on Instagram. I'm glad that you think that sounds great, Terry. I think that it's time, and people are looking for something. And I don't know about you, maybe it's just me, but I definitely do better with a little bit of a step by step when I'm starting to learn something new, or when I need to be accountable to something. Because sometimes we can get so much into our own head, it just feels like a storm going around us that gets so cloudy. So I'm excited to be able to guide people into this space, to be able to feel more comfortable in their own skin and in this life, because we truly have come here to learn and to experience and to enjoy the good times, but not fear the bad times. Rather look at it as a gateway into the next level. And there's a million quotes that you can find on how it gets tougher before you get to the end, and not giving up, etc., etc. But truly, it's more about an expansion of your humanity, an expansion of your compassion, an expansion of your understanding that no human is free of what you feel. No human. We're all here to learn, and we all have very challenging things that happen to us, and we all have a connection to spirit, and we all have the strength to move through it. So with that, I am going to pull a card as well. So I love this self-care deck, and I'm going to continue to encourage people to grab an oracle deck somewhere. It is such a fun, magical, kind of baby step into connecting with spiritual information, into being open to receiving guidance in a way that it isn't coming through your brain. It helps like bypass your brain so that it's coming right from your heart, so that spirit can give you information through cards. So there's 1,000,001 oracle decks. There's no wrong way to choose one. Highly recommend it. And it's so cool. I actually see my kids grabbing my decks more and more often and starting to use that too, which is just so exciting, guys. The next generation was born without the muck. They are so open. Even if you gift it to somebody younger, so amazing. Okay, whoop, a few came up. I'm gonna show some of these. So the first one is Sing. Turn on your favorite song, sing out loud. Let that energy flow through you. Singing is a vibration, which is why if you're not a singer, I am not a singer. But there are songs that literally can bring me to a higher state of emotion. Not always tears, but there's something that happens with certain songs that just like lights me up inside. So find that song for you, either sing it out loud or blast it so that you can listen to it too, because it shifts your vibration immediately, especially if you find yourself in a challenging space. So much physicality. So this one, she's making pottery, but I'm being told this has more to do with grounding. So get your hands into the dirt if you can. Everybody's got weeds in their gardens. I actually, Spirit told me today I had to weed my garden, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do a live instead because I did not want to go out and get my hands dirty. But there is a calling here to get your hands into earth, or to, if you don't have a garden outside, even if you have a plant in your home, just touch it a little bit and try and connect with that. Just be in the moment, feel it. What does it feel like? Is it cool? Is it wet? Is it dry? Is it spiky? Is it soft? How much water does it need? Does the earth below it feel dry, or does it need water? Just really put your intention and energy into either pulling weeds from your garden, which oftentimes when I'm doing that, I actually think of it as pulling little thoughts out of my own mind that I don't want to have anymore, that are starting to grow. So I ask Spirit to help me with the physical process of doing that, to remove it energetically as well. I'm super visual though. But if you don't have a garden, or you don't feel like weeding, it will be enough to just kind of connect to a plant today. So I am going to, hey Jeanette, I am going to leave you guys with that today. I'm excited to begin the 30-day journey with you. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, and the lives I will be doing will be on YouTube once a week as well, but I'll post them in here so that you guys can find them. I'm wishing you an amazing end of May. It's crazy that we're almost complete 5 months this year. And I'm also wishing you much ease in your week, and much allowing, and for you to know how much you are safe and loved. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.